want to now bring in NewsNation contributor Chris Cillizza, host of So What with Chris Cillizza over on YouTube. Happy Election Day, my friend. Welcome.
I love these days. This is like my Super Bowl. It happens all the time. I know some people dread these things, but I am not one of them.
Yeah,
Markie.
you're a kid in the candy store this morning. Hey, on your podcast, I know you laid out why you believe this Wisconsin Supreme Court election is a referendum on Elon Musk. I'm wondering, what does Musk have riding on the results tonight, and how nervous do you think he is and the administration is right now?
I mean, look, on the one hand, Elon Musk is either the first or second richest guy in the world, and he probably still will be after this election. So some people say to be like, oh, who cares? Like, he's not in office. He doesn't run for office. But Elon Musk is right now very close to Donald Trump. He's in a position of significant influence in this administration. He has, I don't know if he's done it on purpose or not, but the video you're showing here, when you go and do a rally, 48 hours before an election, that's the kind of thing a politician usually does. You are making it, at least in part, about yourself. And I always remind people, what is Donald Trump like? Winners. What is Donald Trump not like? Losers. If you are associated with losing, and I do think if I had to bet, I would probably say Susan Crawford is a slight favorite here today. If Elon Musk winds up losing this after putting $20 million of his own money after going into the state, there is a little bit of a whiff of maybe this guy's unpopularity is sort of leaching over to Donald Trump, and I think maybe hurts him with Trump.
So you think that this could change how the president sees Elon Musk when you talk about the proximity? Like, could we see a shift in his advisor role, Doge, if this Wisconsin race goes south?
So let's say that Susan Crawford wins. I don't think tomorrow Donald Trump's going to say, okay, Elon Musk isn't in charge of Doge anymore, Markie, right? I mean, it's not going to be drastic. But what I'm saying is I do think Donald Trump views the world, always has, as there are winners, of which he is a part, and there are losers, right? And he wants to be associated with winners. So you and I have talked about this on air many times about the Elon Musk Donald Trump relationship. I've always said I think it's somewhat fraught and eligible to have various things change within it. I just think this could be the start of Elon's poll numbers aren't great. Why did he go in there and spend that much money and we lost? Remember, they wanted Donald Trump to go into this state. Of course they did. For the Republican or the conservative nominee, and Trump decided not to. Why? I think because he thinks the guy's going to probably lose, and Donald Trump doesn't want to be associated with it.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line today. On the flip side of things, Chris, are Democrats indirectly recognizing President Trump's popularity in these states by making the focus Elon Musk and Doge?
It's really interesting. I do think that Elon Musk is less popular today in most places. I don't want to generalize and say in every place in the country, but in most places than Donald Trump is. Neither of them are overwhelmingly popular, but Elon Musk is less popular. I actually think that Democrats have spent too much time, in my opinion, basically saying to voters, well, I mean, you're not going to vote for somebody who supports Donald Trump, are you? And voters again and again, particularly in the 2016 election, the 2024 election, said, yeah, we are going to vote for Donald Trump. I actually think Democrats, whether Elon Musk is helping them or not, are better served not just making every election a referendum on whether you like or hate Donald Trump personally. Because while the Democratic base clearly hates Donald Trump, I mean, no debate about that, they are not enough voters in Wisconsin, and there's certainly not enough voters in Florida 1 or Florida 6 to win. They're going to need some other voters to vote for them. So it wouldn't be a bad strategy if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I've just wondered since the beginning, even if this conservative judge does win, how long Elon Musk will stick around. I mean, I keep saying two beta fish can't last in the same bowl for too long.
There's an expiration date on that bromance. Yeah. I don't know exactly what day it is, Markie, but there is a day. And it is not
but it's coming.
January 21st, 2029, right? It's going to be before the end of his term. Yeah.
We will wait and see. They'll keep us on our toes. Chris Cillizza, thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.